thank you for joining me here on Sew Stitch Hex. Today I'm going to be talking about why you shouldn't come out of the broom closet. Now I know that seems contrary to my overall goal, which is to help more baby witches feel confident and make them feel like they can be themselves and they can come out, but also some places witchcraft is still illegal. It's still punishable by death. Some places there are witch hunters that can get you. I know India is a problem. Places in Africa are super dangerous. Ireland. These are places that you can practice, but you need to do it in private. And you should really know the rules for witchcraft in your area. You should really know whether it's safe to practice, whether it's safe to be open. I want everyone to be able to be open. I want the world to change. I want everyone to be able to do what they're going to do, just be happy and do these things. But realistically, right this very second, some people need to stay hidden. And I just want to kind of talk about ways you can practice if you really need to. So some things, if you're trying to practice, you're new to the community, you can have throwaway accounts. Yes, I know consistency, having it sometimes sucks if you can't keep track of them. Like if you need a throwaway account because one of your family members discovers your account and you need to just delete it and toss it, it's gone. And it's gone. Or you just log out, never log back into that one ever again, and then just maybe one day remember it's there to have that digital catalog. But if you can't, it's gone. Your safety is more important than your records. Yes, I know that sucks, but it's true. One thing I would recommend is if you do want to keep records, but you don't want to have a tie to yourself, have an account that you always sign out of, never save the username, never save the password. Have it tied to an email that is not yours. Have it tied to an account. Make sure it's digital, by the way. Don't have a physical journal. Don't have physical items. I know this sucks, especially for people who want to practice more of the actual physical thing. You want to have the items. You want to have the candles, but have things that you can dispose of, things that you're not going to keep. Don't have hardcore tools. Like, don't have your physical athame. If you have to use a athame spiritually, have, like, your own culinary set. Like, purchase the cute little boxes that have like the little designer set and be like, oh, this is my special one. I only use it occasionally, but I thought it was so cute. And some people will understand, oh, that's so precious. You found something you like. That's so peculiar. I adore it. So queer. Oh, I love it. Do that. Have your own little set. I had a little set of chopsticks like that, and no one's seen it as weird because I was the only one in my family who could use the chopsticks, which is fine. That's lovely. You can do that with your fork, knife, and spoon. Like, oh, look, I got my little set, and I use it occasionally when I'm just feeling myself, and I clean it myself so it's not a burden on my family. And then you have it. You can use that as a symbolic athame. No, it's not great for cutting, but you don't have to have it. It can just be spiritual. And that's kind of dumb, but then you'd have a spoon you could use to handle your herbs, which you can burn and dispose of naturally. You can, depending on what they are. Always make sure, you can't burn them and you're not going to like hallucinate or kill someone or, poison yourself. Make sure, double check. Don't just dispose of them or burn them. Double check first. But you can do these things. Have things that you can get rid of easily. Things that you can hide. Things that are erasable. Like if you really want like a physical board to practice drawing sigils on, have like a chalkboard. Have like a whiteboard that you can draw on and erase. And in that way, you're breaking the link, but also you could be doing that to activate it by erasing it. It's all about your intent there and drawing it. I know one of the things I like to do in like my modern witchcraft is putting sigils on coffee strainers, because I'll use the coffee maker mostly to make hot water for tea so I don't have to get out the kettle or anything. But I'll take it and write them on the coffee strainer, make the tea, and I'll use a pen that is food safe because I don't want to eat like lead. That's gross. But using it on there, and it's kind of like imbuing the tea with this power, but then also I can burn the paper if I don't want to make tea, and that be like igniting the sigil, activating the sigil. And I could do that. You can do that. And when you burn, you would burn this little paper and then it'd be gone. But you've done the spell work. You've done it, and then you don't have evidence. Because most things that you can have that are really easy to not get caught with are like, you can have a lighter to represent fire if you don't want to have another representation. You can technically have just a knife unless, weapons are a thing, and Sometimes for women, that might be an extra problem depending on where you're at, having a knife in your possession. Like, what are you doing? If that's a thing, remember if it's a thing. Because for me, it's not a thing, but I live here. Know that you can have things like a feather, as simple as a feather. Just, it's a thing you collected that was beautiful. Rocks can be the same way. As long as you don't have like an ungodly amount like I do, it can be a collectible item that just looks lovely. But it can also be your witchcraft tools if you're doing it correctly and not making it like the stones that are shaped like, say you have a stone that's representing the horned god, or you have a stone that's representing Lucifer. Like, that's cool, but also like you might have repercussions if you can't be open about your craft, if people are going to be concerned about what you're doing with this representation. Although you could play it off if it was a representation of like Lucifer or the horn god. Say it's Lucifer and put it in a set so it looks like some kind of like dramatic setup. Like when you see like the little battle arrangements and you have like biblical demonstration of everything, but like super extra ones. Have something like that and be like, this is just a super dramatization of how evil and dark I think he is, and not how evil and dark society has put onto him. And, you know, make it, don't say that part, the last part, but, you know, over dramatize these things and be like, I just want that reminder of rah, because I'm so extra. Like, that's cool too. You could do that. You could pretend to be the opposite. Those people aggravate me IRL, but, you know, if that's safe for you, you can do that. Like, I personally am super happy to be in situations where people are super excited about what they believe in, as long as they're not like, I hate you because you're a witch. If you're like, I love this thing and I'm great and I'm not trying to push it onto you, that's wonderful. Be happy. Just be yourself. But if you have to hide it, be careful about what you reveal. Be understanding of what is okay and what is taboo in your particular area. So say I could have a teacup here and I can use it for tessemancy. Other people might have those special teacups that, oh sorry, that was very southern, have the special teacups that have the little markings on the inside to help you with your reading. Maybe you shouldn't have that. Maybe you shouldn't have the palmistry demonstration that helps you understand the different lines. That could be dangerous for you if you have it. Tarot cards are dangerous to have if you're in an area where you can't practice witchcraft. Playing cards may not be. There are associations with playing cards that you can make to use them as a tarot deck. You can have different numbers of sticks to practice. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a, I'm pretty sure it's Icelandic in origin, a divination practice that involves sticks. And you probably can't carve onto them as you would, but you can get different length sticks to use them in your divination. You could do other things that are just simple objects you find in nature, or little things that are decorative. Like, before I added the pentacle into this lovely wreath, it was just flowers and it was just super cute. I eventually added the pentacle because I wanted that extra expression of myself and I wanted that extra balance in my space. And that's something you can do. A lot of times I'll decorate my house with little things that just represent me and represent the different creatures that I enjoy. I have lots of African animals because they're really cool and I really like the environment and how dangerous and like the beauty of the creatures, and the stories, the folk tales of Africa are so lovely. So I have all these cute little critters. Like I got the gator. I have a spider around here somewhere because based off my zodiac, I think a spider is supposed to be my spirit animal, and they're beautiful creatures, but I don't really work with spiders. They freak me out. They're beautiful, but they're beautiful over there. And so, like, these are things that you can have to represent that, and they're just decorations. They are that, purely figurines. You can do that, too, to represent your gods. Just figurines that remind you. Say you have, like, a bird to represent Hermes, and flight, and messenger. That's cool. You can have something like that. You can have just doves, just because that's, oh, you got cute little doves, and maybe that's representing the love of Aphrodite. You could do that. You can do other, like, more simple, like, visualizations of these items and do them for your altar to represent the gods and goddesses that you work with. You can do so many little things to represent it in your physical space if you need it. But I recommend using a digital platform where you do not have to be concerned with someone discovering or understanding what you're doing. Like, you don't want them to know what you're playing at. Have it digital. Don't do anything with audio. I know I love audio grimoires, but don't do it because then your voice is there. Unless you can edit it and make it so they can't reverse it and figure out what's going on, don't record your voice. Don't have a physical book, mostly because they can discover it. But if they do discover it, say it's somewhere in a public place, if it's your handwriting and they can decipher it as your handwriting, whether it's in code or not, which could put you, depending on what kind of family and atmosphere you're in, they could think it's terrorism or some kind of espionage. I don't know what kind of life you live, but that could be a problem. Try keeping a digital grimoire because you can use any font. Try to use a font that's not like, oh, I had to go to this website to download this adorable font. Like when you download the American Horror Story font. Don't do that. Because, yes, it's cool and aesthetic, but what if they track it back to a program on your computer? You have to be super careful if you have to be super careful. Think of all these little things. Try picking a website that you can have like a burner account that you can go to later, or just make your accounts to view things. Like make a guest account that you don't save anything, but you can view everything. You'll have to keep the knowledge here if you can't find a digital platform to store your knowledge on, but that is a valid option. The throwaway accounts are a valid option for you to learn, but not get caught while you're learning. And if that is a safety issue, there is that. If you can't leave, then that is what you must do. So there are valid reasons why you should avoid coming out of the closet. And I want everyone to be able to come out of the broom closet and be themselves and be who they are and be able to express everything. But if you can't, don't. Your craft is important to you, but your life is important to me, and it's important to other people too. Like, you may have a parent that says they hate your guts because you're a witch. I don't, but you could. And that's scary. Because you're like, you brought me into this world and you don't want me. Some people haven't come out. I have friends with people who have not come out yet because they don't believe they can. Their family is highly Christian and they don't feel they can come out. I've come out. I'm very open. I post everything everywhere and I don't care. I'm like, oh, you have a problem with me? Bye-bye. Block. I don't care. Goodbye. Oh, you have a problem with me? You know what? You're going in a jar today. Goodbye. That happens. I mean, you could do that too. You could put them in a jar. Just throw them in there. Shake it up. Really give them a heck of a time. But you don't have to. You can just be like, don't come out if you don't need to have this trauma in your life. It's so hard if someone you love and care about doesn't respect your beliefs. They don't respect it. And it can hurt you more if you don't have the ability to take that kind of pain. And if you can't, don't. If you don't want to risk it, to me, being myself and being true to who I am was more important than any problems I may have encountered, which I didn't. Everyone loves me still, and I'm still great. I mean, I have some people who probably iffy, but I don't care about them anyway, because they're not very nice. So, whatever. But like, all my direct family that I go to see when I can, and who I know care about me, because they're all the people I love. I try to see them when I can. I'm just so busy. Being me. Yeah, working, doing art, doing witchcraft. Lots of work. But, like, I can do that. Not everyone can just come out and say, hey, I'm a witch. And then their mom and dad be like, oh, yeah, that's cool. All right. What you want for dinner? Just like some people can't come out of like the gay closet and be like, hey, I'm lesbian, whatever. Oh, okay, that's cool. When you're bringing your girlfriend over, I don't have one yet. And then they do the things you do when you don't have a boyfriend, girlfriend, and like the relationships you see on TV all the time. Like that. Like, when are you bringing someone home? I need to meet them. Something like that. Not everyone can be in these situations. And it's really hard to talk about because I want everyone to feel like they can come out and feel like they can talk to everyone. But if you know that your parents or your best friends, your coworkers, maybe your husband isn't going to accept you, your wife isn't going to accept you, your children, maybe you have to stay quiet if you really want to keep them. If you want to keep that relationship, you really have to understand what is more important. The relationships, your life, your craft, what is more important to you? I can see myself going to the stake for my craft. I can see myself getting beaten to death by some crazy person for my craft. And you know what? I ain't scared. I'm not afraid. I am proud of what I do. I am happy with what I do. It is the most happy in me that I've been in so long doing what I do. And I like that. But I don't want someone else to feel that that's what they have to do to be a witch. You don't have to be out. You can be completely quiet and secret. Don't tell anyone. I love to know everything, but if you can't tell me without dying, please keep it to yourself. And that's just kind of the point today. It's to tell everyone to be safe. Practice in quiet. Hide things. Have things that you can't notice. Your spirit animal as a necklace that just looks like a cute necklace. Something basic. I don't want you to get caught and get hurt. And I just want to remind everyone, it's a broom closet, but the closet's where we keep the things that we need. And sometimes you need your craft, but you need your life too. So just hide in there with your things and just pray that we make it a better place. We all try, but I just want everyone to be safe. It feels super sad, but I just want everyone to know your craft is secret with me. If you want to DM me, I have social media platforms I'm happy to talk with you about. Even if it's a burner account, have like a code phrase, come up with one, send that to me, and you can talk to me through that phrase if that makes you better, like feel better. I'm here. I'm not knowledgeable about everything, but I try to learn a lot, and I'm happy to keep records through text if you need me to, through the DMs. All right, this has been So Stitch Hex, and why you should stay in the broom closet. So I hope to cast a spell with you, whether it be in heart or in the video next time. Thanks.